Hi everybody, this is Ginger and the Ginger Chat Show, and if you hear a slight pain in my voice, you're right. I just slammed my kneecap into the desk. And part of the desk is made with steel rods, and I just smacked right into it, and so my knee is killing me right now, my right knee. So, I hope I didn't do too much damage to it. I'm going to have to ice it later on and see if I get it to feel better. Um, so right now I'm hurting a little bit. Anyway, hi, and I hope all is well. It is 56 degrees and cloudy here. It's been like that the last 2 or 3 days, 4 days. Hasn't really warmed up all that much. It's been kind of a weird May, and this is, of course, the last day in May. Technically, the 31st of May usually is the Memorial Day weekend, but since it fell on Monday, which was the 28th, that's technically in that area. I got up to 32 as of yesterday, 32 of my subscribers in my Ginger's Chat Show YouTube channel. I jumped on, talked to John yesterday during our family meeting, and he's helping me trying to get my YouTube up to where I could go live simultaneously, and that way I don't have to keep downloading from my Facebook to go to my YouTube and transfer it over YouTube to load my channel there. But right now, that's what I'm doing. And I hope to get up to at least 1,000 or 2,000 in order to go live. And when I go live, I could do this simultaneously. Or just switch over to YouTube and just do it live from YouTube. I could go either way. So it's just a matter of hoping away and just keep working toward it. I would like to get to the point where I'd like to get some sponsors, like mainly pet sponsors, things like that. I could promote their products for them. And this is similarly what I used to do when I worked for Advantage Solutions, when I promoted products for other companies. And so people will know what's out there and they could try it and everything. Well, with this, I could do it the same thing. It's just basically saying, hey, get it under my discount or code discount or whatever. But we'll see how this goes. Also today, so you will know Nancy. I don't know, Dorothy, if you ever ordered from my store or not. But anyway, Shopify is upgrading their system and putting in what they call the shop, and where I get almost free advertising. And so I could work on my store. It'll do all the upgrades and I'll do more customization with it. So it's supposed to happen today. And so I hope that it comes on and everything. So just keep an eye out for it. It takes time. When I do any kind of changes on my store, it takes about a day for it to kick in. It takes about 1 day. Because they have their servers and everything have to switch everything over, update everything in my store. That's how it works. That's why it takes so long. I wish it was a little bit faster, but, you can only do so much. Okay, now on for today's news. As you know, I watched a little bit of it on PBS. Hi, Virginia. How you doing, sister? So you guys will know. I was listening to PBS News. and I watched a little bit of the debate and saying, hey, this needs to pass. We need to work past it so it's good for 2 years. At the end of the 2 years in 2025, they could check things out. It takes about a while for all the stuff to go through, okay, on the debt ceiling. Bills are already paid for. This is fiscal year, okay? Well, if they do it for 2 years, they don't have to worry about it for 2 years instead of kicking the can down the road like they normally been doing. And the bills have already been basically paid. They just have to raise the ceiling a little bit. It's sort of like what you do on your bank budget. When you go in, your bank has a... Yeah, I saw that. Oh, and Chris Christie is too. He also put his hat in the ring. He's starting his presidential campaign. Remember, he ran in 2016. Chris Christie. So anyway, I think a lot of them are taking, first things first, a lot of them are taking advantage of this because they know Trump is in deep doo-doo. Federal, crime-wise. He's in deep doo-doo. So, anyway, on the debt ceiling, they're supposed to vote on it, I think, today, because they were given 72 hours to read it. 72 hours to read it. Well, there's some Magarat people, very, very small group, said, we can't read it in 72 hours. In other words, what they're telling me, they're probably telling you, they don't want to do their homework. And that's what it sounds like. They don't want to do their homework. They don't want to do their job. If they don't want to do their job, then they have no business being in the House of Representatives. They have no business being in Congress, ever. The people that have business being in Congress are those that want to serve the public. And that's what they're doing. You can't fit 6 billion or 6 billion people. Well, we lost a number from pandemic. We can't fit all 6 million people into Congress, into the building. That's not going to work. You have to have people that represent you and conduct business on your behalf. That's what it's for. But many of them have not, I feel, have not learned civics and how things really work. Now, those that do have a law degree are required to learn all this. So, you know, and the bill is bipartisan. This was negotiated between McCarthy and President Biden. And President Biden says, I don't want Social Security, Medicare, or any other social programs on the table on this. This is just raising the debt ceiling. The bills are already paid for. It's just adjusting our budget. And he was kind of giving McCarthy a lesson in this, how it works. McCarthy's forgetting that President Biden served 36 years in the Senate. He served in the Senate, okay? And he also served as vice president. So he needs to remember that President Biden has a lot more experience than he has of how things really work. I'll address that in a minute, Virginia. So anyway, that's what's going on with the debt ceiling today. And many of those are a moderate GOP that have no connection with the Magarats. Magarats are referred to as Green, Boebert, Gates, those guys. Those are the Magarats. That's the ones I'm referring to, the radical element. The moderate element are more toward the traditional GOP. You don't want to lump the GOP in all groups. They have various uh, layers or levels of GOP in there. Some just want to do public service, serve maybe 2 terms, and then let somebody else take over. Okay? But many of the moderate GOP said that this bill will pass. It will go on. It will pass because we're not going to put our country in jeopardy by their stupidity. And some of the moderate GOP said they're being stupid. They're being selfish and stupid. The Magarats. Okay? I also, if you guys heard over the weekend, this happened yesterday or Sunday. Ukraine finally had enough of Russia's lobbing, drones and bombs and everything over into their country. Guess what Ukraine did? Came from Kyiv. And they lobbed 3 drones over to Moscow. And it took out some buildings in Moscow. Hit minor damage to one apartment building, but they said that building's half empty. And also, it was very close to the Kremlin. I wish they aimed it more to Kremlin. But Russia, the Moscow government, the Kremlin were shocked. Well, what do they expect? They've been lobbing bombs and shells and everything over at Ukraine. So really, what is wrong with Ukraine lobbying it back at them to teach them a lesson? Teach Russia a lesson. Oh, and speaking of which, Moscow, you're going to laugh at this. Moscow put out an arrest warrant on Senator Lindsey Graham. Because he was saying that Putin is being a monster. He's being an utter idiot for doing this. And so Moscow put out a arrest warrant for him. Remember, Putin put out a law that nobody should be criticizing him or anything else and calling him this and calling him that. They find themselves in prison. Well, I think Putin's the one that needs to stay in prison. He needs to go in there. For war crimes. Not only that, Putin is stuck in Moscow right now. He cannot travel outside the country because there is a worldwide arrest warrant out for him, courtesy of The Hague, the World Court. They put out an arrest warrant on Putin. So if he goes outside the country, they can nab him. They don't care if he's president of Russia. They can nab him. In some ways, I wish they would. So anyway, it's kind of, karma, more than anyway, karma in many ways. Now, as far as the presidential election that's going to happen next year, there are a number on the GOP side that is throwing their hat in the ring for it. Trump is not going to get anywhere because he's going to be, by this summer, he will be indicted. And one of those indictments involves the stolen documents that he did. And when they indict him on that, then he will be arrested again and then thrown in jail. And they should put him in jail. Should not even allow him to run for office. He should be denied that. Chris Christie, the governor of New Jersey, is running for president. He just announced that today. DeSantis, over the weekend, has announced his announcement to run for president. Well, DeSantis is not that well liked at all. And I know Dorothy Kendall hates him with a purple passion. Uh, he should not be allowed to run either. Because of what he's doing to Disney, Walt Disney. And Walt Disney, Disneyland and Disney World are icons. And they've been there a lot longer than DeSantis, more than anything. And why he's picking on them, I don't know. Picking a fight with them. Just because a company stated something about the, they want the like on this bill and go, no, you're being, you don't sit there and discriminate against people. What's the matter, Nose? Aww. Poor kitty. Oh, speaking of which, Virginia, why do they take your post off for bullying what? Yeah, I know you moved out of Florida. Virginia. I don't know why they pull your thing for bullying. I'm laughing. What do you think Facebook is doing? They're bullying people for speaking the truth. And Facebook needs to have their heads slapped. They're going to lose users. They already probably lost users anyway. More than anything. So, to Facebook, neater. That's my thing on it. And they say community standards? That's a joke. They don't even follow the community standards that they established. They can't have it both ways. Okay? Well, so what you made a remark about Pence, everybody's probably thinking the same thing. They're just being butthurt about it. And Pence is probably going to lose out on that too. They don't have very good quality candidates. The GOP doesn't. And frankly, Facebook needs to stay out of it. Let people do the discourse and just move on, you know. So, I think Facebook needs to do owner and CEO, you know. I think Zuckerberg has forgotten why he started Facebook in the first place. He said he's supposed to bring people together. Well, what he's doing right now, he's basically tearing people apart because they disagreed with him. You can't have it both ways, Zuckerberg. You're doing a very poor business practice, is what you're doing. And, you know, they say, well, you don't know anything about business. And I go, really? I hold a master's and a bachelor's in business. And I run my own store. So, people like Zuckerberg, people like he who shall not be named, people like DeSantis, they have no business being out in public. And then you have some of these states that do really dumb laws. I forgot what state it was that allowed this, but allowing you know, kids serve alcohol and everything else and go, no, because there's a federal law that's under 21, they cannot serve alcohol. So what that governor did, I forgot what state it was, but what that governor did, he was violating law on that. So, anyway, now that we know that President Biden is running for re-election, which is fine. He's doing a wonderful job. He's got a good team. He's not doing everything by himself. He has a team that sits there and does things alongside him and help promote that. Vice President Harris is doing a wonderful job too. She's really working on a number of other things, and so he's not doing it all himself. Okay, he's got help. He's got a great team, and he is very, very savvy when it comes to how to deal with Congress, because he knows how they think, and he knows what works. He's really a smart guy. And you have the good old Irish American work ethic, and hi, Caroline. Welcome. I don't think I ever, the farthest south that I have ever been was Florida. I've been to Fort Lauderdale. I flew over St. Louis, Missouri on the way to Fort Lauderdale. This was in 2002. We had to divert from a thunderstorm, so we had to go around it. So we flew over St. Louis, Missouri, flew over Missouri, and went to Fort Lauderdale. We were kind of dodging thunderstorms left and right when we were on our way down there. We left SeaTac when it was in the middle of the snowstorm. Figure that one out. Snowstorm, and then we got down to Florida in the middle of a heat wave. So anyway, and you're welcome to listen in, Carol. You're really welcome to this group here. Now those that signed on to my YouTube channel subscribers, I thank you. I really thank you, and I hope to make more customizations to my channel to make it more interesting. So I'm working on that as well. I don't know if you guys heard on the news yesterday. You're welcome, Carol. You're really welcome. The Axiom 2 crew came back from the International Space Station yesterday. They splashed down last night. Speaking of which, some of you probably know this. You, Carolyn, and Dorothy, guess what tomorrow is? Start of hurricane season. Just hope we don't have any serious hurricanes. Hope they just bypass the United States and stay out at sea. That's why I prefer it to go. I don't want to hit land. Okay? We're still trying to recover. Especially some of the tornado outbreaks that occurred too. And so we're trying to recover from that portion of the country. I have family that lives in Missouri, in the Midwest, in the Missouri area. And I have some friends. Yes, I am. I'm in a little town called, well, not a town, it's more like a little city. I live in the little city of Lakewood, which is about 25 miles south of Tacoma, and which is about 45 miles south of Seattle. We're kind of along the I-5 corridor, if you will. Then we're about 25 or 30 miles north of Olympia, which is our capital. Yeah, I grew up here and was born and raised here. So I'm not all that far from my birthplace either. Over there is McCord Air Force Base, and I was born there. My dad was in the Air Force, and one last bounce we did was, or last move we did was, after I was born, we moved up to Alaska, stayed for Alaska for 3 years, Elmendorf Air Force Base. Mom hated it, I loved it. I didn't really want to leave. And then we moved back down here. And then my parents built a house in Puyallup, and as they say, the rest is history. So anyway, I thank you for, again, on my YouTube channel. I'm really thrilled. I'm really happy. Please share. I'm more of a liberal Democrat. I used to be Republican. That's where I grew up. I grew up in a Republican household. It was kind of funny in our family. My parents were Republican in some sense. They're the old school Republican. They're not the radical kind. They're more like wanting to work things and get things done. My mom's sister and her husband were Democrats. So he kind of influenced me some, too. Hey, Linda! So, great, 4. I need more. So, anyway, yeah, I was on, yes, some of you probably know, I was on yesterday at John's Blue Dot meeting, and so I would chat with him a little bit and everything, and discuss all the stuff that's going on. What happened was, Linda, before I started my chat, I rammed my right knee into the steel post of my desk. It hurts right now. I gotta ice it as soon as I'm done here. Ice it and stay off of it. I think I bruised it pretty good. So, okay. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. Yeah. Now my parents, when they went on their road trip, Linda, they were in Boston. Poor Dad. They got lost in downtown Boston. They got lost down there. And so it had to take a local to lead them out of Boston because they were trying to find their hotel. They were staying in Boston before they went on to, he wanted to go up to South Dakota, where my dad grew up. And so they got lost, and they were helped out, so, which is cool. Okay, well, it's, almost the end of my chat. Be sure to insist, persist, and push back. And if the GOP Magarats don't like it, well, tough. Because if you make, what I find is you make them mad enough, it makes them think. They said, well, it'll change their minds. Well, yeah, it will. It will plant a seed. So, you know, it'll make them think. So you want that to happen. Wake people up. And this quote unquote wolf that the Magarats are so afraid of, I think a lot of them skip school. Oh, yes I do, Carol, real quick. Okay, real quick here. My chat show is 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's on at 1 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. So 3 times a week. And I keep people posted if something changes, if life happens. You know how that goes. So it's 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 o'clock. Then, when I'm done with this, I download this video to my YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that if you haven't already. Under the same name, Ginger's Chat Show, on my YouTube channel. So, yeah, it'll be 4 p.m. Eastern. So it's 1 o'clock my time, be 4 o'clock your time. Our time zone's fun. I mean, it's bad enough when you're watching a rocket launch and they're talking about different time zones and everything. So anyway, alright, well, I will see you guys later. And I'll see you on, let me check my calendar real quick here. Hold on 1 second. Let me check my calendar. Yes. I'll see you on Friday at 1 o'clock. As always, and if something changes, I will let you know. So, yeah, put it on your reminder list and put it on your calendar on your computer, and it will remind you. Or if you have Google or if you have Alexa, use that feature too, because it really helps. I will, you too, and I will see you guys later, and we will keep moving forward on this, okay? I'll talk to you later. Love you guys. Bye-bye.